car price inflation is under control.
It's incredible, Dad. The latest data on car price inflation is actually good news for consumers. Inflation over the past 5 years, this data is from Q4 2019 to Q4 2024, has gone up 23%. Many brands, Dad, including Subaru, Nissan, and Mazda, have increased their MSRPs by less than the rate of inflation. These numbers are looking, honestly, pretty good, which is kind of scary to say considering how unaffordable cars are right now.
Well, that part of it is leaves a lot to be desired because the prices of cars is still, as I like to say, too damn high. But the reality of the situation, when we compare numbers this year compared to last year, the rate of MSRP inflation on many brands is significantly lower than it had been. For instance, you can take a look at Hyundai, and their MSRP inflation's gone up 36%. A year ago, that number was 48%. So their prices have stabilized in relation to inflation. The same has happened for Stellantis. They were over 50%. Now that number's down to 31%. So they have stabilized what's going on in relation to inflation. However, the increases have been so much that many of the vehicles are still out of the price range for too many Americans.
It's not too surprising to see Stellantis's prices going down relative to where they were a year ago. For example, Pops, the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, the base price on that vehicle has dropped by $21,000 for 2025. So Stellantis is making some pretty smart decisions in terms of reducing the price points for many of their vehicles.
Yeah, unfortunately, it does not do the wrong decision of deciding to build that vehicle in the first place.
Even vehicles like the Grand Cherokee saw a $3,000 price decline going into 2025. And the Chrysler Voyager is helping Chrysler's average transaction prices and MSRPs go down. It's a more entry-level option compared to the Pacifica. It is interesting, though, when you dig into the Stellantis numbers, Pops, Ram prices keep going up as they continue to make more and more expensive full-size pickup trucks. So a little bit of nuance within the numbers there. You can kind of see the bright spots with some of those business decisions they've made.
Absolutely.
So the surprise numbers here, obviously, Honda with a 35% increase in their prices. Again, inflation has only been 23% over that period of time. That's pretty damn surprising considering Honda is one of those affordable options for consumers. Hyundai, which is down from where they had been a year ago, they're still up 36%. Toyota up 31%, so significantly above the inflation rate as well. And then I think the real shocker here is the fact that Subarus have only gone up 14% while inflation is up 23%. Does that not say that Subaru is a value option for consumers out there because it's just like it hasn't gone up even as much as inflation has gone up?
It says to me that they are committed to producing affordable, well-equipped, safety-oriented vehicles at a very reasonable price point. They have had to work very hard to be able to maintain the MSRPs that they have while only having those MSRPs go up an average of 14%. That takes a strong commitment from upper level management at a company like that, because we can see, looking at others, it is so much easier just to say, just keep raising the prices. And Subaru's figured out a way to, let's not keep raising the prices to the same degree as everybody else and still pack a tremendous amount of value into the MSRP of the vehicle.
So let's run through the numbers real quickly, and then we're going to talk about luxury vehicles. We have that data as well. General Motors up 30% over the past 5 years. Ford 26%, Honda, like we said, 35%. Hyundai, which is Hyundai and Kia and Genesis, that's up 36%. Stellantis, which is Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, Alfa Romeo, and maybe I'm missing one or two in there, but that's gone up 31%, which is significantly down, like we said before. Nissan prices have only gone up 19%, so below the rate of inflation. Subaru at 14%, Toyota at 31%, Volkswagen Group, that's at 29%, and then Mazda at 20% price inflation. So across the board, these numbers are better today than they were a year ago. And there's still a lot of these brands significantly above the rate of inflation. The story when it comes to luxury vehicles, Pops, is pretty interesting. Mercedes-Benz is struggling mightily in the United States and abroad. And shocker, Mercedes-Benz have increased their prices 35% over the past 5 years, leading the pack. No one else is at 35%. Land Rover and Acura are both at a 33% price increase over the past 5 years. So not too much of a surprise to see Mercedes-Benz had the largest price increases, and they are also the luxury brand that is struggling the most right now.
And they made a decision, a significant decision at the CEO level, that they were going to go more upscale. And that's where they want to be in the market today. Is it causing them some short-term pain? It probably is. But they have decided they are going to separate themselves from everyone else price-wise to create this perception of greater luxury. Don't know if it's going to work out for them. So far, it doesn't appear that way because they are experiencing some financial issues and trying to cut costs dramatically.
Now, a shocker to me, Dad, Lincoln. Prices of Lincolns have only gone up 13%. Again, the rate of inflation has been 23% over that period of time, yet Lincoln sales have not been strong. A lot of that has to do with recall, stop sales, things like that. But Lincoln prices have only gone up 13%. Volvo have gone up 20%, and Audi have gone up 17%. One more brand sneaking in below the inflation rate would be Lexus at 22% price increases over the past 5 years, just below the rate of inflation and significantly below the rate that we've seen Toyota prices go up. So maybe a little bit of a blending of worlds between Toyota and Lexus in terms of price point, because Toyota prices have gone up 33% during this period of time, yet Lexus prices have only gone up 22%.
Might have something to do with the fact that the Lexus prices have essentially been overinflated when it comes to the Toyota pricing since Lexus's inception.
BMW's at a 25% increase over the past 5 years. Land Rover at that 33% increase. Porsche right there at 24%. Cadillac has seen a 29% increase in their prices. And Volvo, like I said a moment ago, at that 20% price increase. So the story here, I think, continues to be slightly better news in terms of these car price inflation numbers are lower than they had been a year ago. We had seen numbers upwards of 50% price increases over the trailing 5 years. And again, inflation has been around 20, 21, 22, 23%. So a slightly better story. However, the average transaction prices for these vehicles are still through the roof. New cars on average almost cost $50,000. The used car market is still out of control. Average used cars cost almost $28,000, $29,000. So it's not to say that vehicles are more affordable, but it is to say maybe that things have stabilized, to use the word that you shared earlier.
I think that's what it shows, that some of the manufacturers, perhaps Stellantis is one example, part of the inflation was trim inflation, where they did away with lower trims. And now they're starting to bring back lower priced trims. And so when you do that, it significantly decreases the overall amount of your price inflation.
We have all this data available for free back on caredge.com or Google search car price inflation, and the article will pop right up. We'll keep updating this as well so you get more information from us in the future. Thanks, Pops.
Thank you, Handsome.